Grid selection macro is probably one of the most advanced features in FastKeys. It's a sort of selection form on steroids. This macro is very flexible and you can use it in many different ways for surveys, forms, questionnaires. Stay with me to the end of this video because I'm going to be sharing a bunch of different examples and some tips. To use it in my phrase, I'll select User Input Icon and Grid Selection Macro. As always, the macro needs a name. You see, we have two main types, single and multi-selection. In this video, we'll focus on a single selection only. We'll cover multiple selections in a separate tutorial. So what do we have here? In this first table section, we define our data. And in the second section, we define the output. Let's focus on table first. We have rows or selections. We have the available options in columns. And we have the cells or fields as we call them. Let's say my selections would be the list of patient's symptoms. I can double click on any field in the table to enter data. And a few more. Okay. Then I'll enter some fields to define a detailed output for each selection. The default columns are yes, no, and not available, but I can change that by going to Set Columns. And here I can change the columns list. And you see there are many presets available. But let's keep it as it is for the moment. Moving to the output section, as I said, I can define how the output should look. I can select this three dots button to select one of the outputs, or I can choose from already preset combinations. I'll select the first one, Field. This is a placeholder, which means FastKeys will output the field content from the table. I can always click on a preview to see the result. You see, FastKeys is generating a different output based on the selections made. Let's see another example. This time I didn't populate the table, I only have selections and columns. The output can be very flexible. Now I'll set the output to be a selection text. These two other entries, column 2 and 3, are optional. You can enable them if you want to create a different output for a specific column. In my case, I want to differentiate between yes and no. So I'll manually enter additional text like this. Is associated with selection and denies selection. If not available is selected, I don't want any output, so I'll enable column 3 and leave it blank. Let's see how it works. You've also noticed that FastKeys group the choices to generate a natural sentence. If I don't want this, I can go to Delimiters and disable the Group Output option. Here, I can also define the words or characters which separate the words in the sentence. By default, FastKeys uses commas and the word "and" for the last one. So let's try again. Now you see, the generated phrase looks different, the choices are not grouped. Here's another interesting usage. In this phrase, I want to enter the languages that the job candidate speaks. So I'll go ahead and change the columns to is fluent in, understands, and doesn't speak. Now I'll set the output to column, selection, placeholders. In this sequence, as you can see, I set the output to be any combination of the placeholders and free text. Preview. How cool is that? And what if I don't want the output to be a sentence? Okay, let's take a look. Here, I'm rating the fitness levels of the person. I'll set the columns from poor to excellent. Now I'll set the output to selection, column, just the other way around. And since I want each rating to be shown in a new line, I'll go to delimiters and set the first two delimiters to enter instead of commas. In this case, I'll make sure a group output option is disabled. Let's try. Great. I now have ratings listed nicely on its own new line. What else can I do? Well, you know by now we can combine the output with free text, so I'll add a word, is, between the placeholders. I'll also change column 3 output and add great. This is so flexible. The possibilities are unlimited. This macro is really capable, and it's available in the professional edition of FastKeys. Can you even begin to imagine all the possibilities? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I really hope this tutorial was useful because I know there's a lot going on here. And if you have questions, we're happy to help. Please check FastKeys from the links below and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future automation tips so you make the most of your FastKeys experience. And to learn about me and how I help people improve their speaking so they can make the most of any time they're in front of a group or recording things, learn about my public speaking coaching at publicdynamics.com. Thanks and take care.